Hello, I'm Jim Morningstar, Director of the School of Integrative Psychology and facilitator of the Integrative Life Community Building course. The focus of this third class in our series is how to generate and conduct energy in your body, communicate it effectively to others, and release the patterns of stuckness inherited from your family and your culture. As several of our class exercises are interactive and expressive, you may want to choose a private space in which to view and participate in those parts of the class. The body as a means of communication. Now, we worked in the first section with the body as an energy conducting system. Now we're going to look at the body as a means of communication. What I'm going to ask you to do now, as you're watching this video, is to stand up. Okay, now hold it right there. Stop. Freeze. Don't move a muscle. Stay right in the position you are when I said stop, whether you're still standing or sitting or in between. I want you to breathe, though. Don't hurt yourself holding that position. If you're in an awkward position, you can adjust so you can stay with it. But notice exactly how you be in that position right now, in that frozen state. I want you to breathe. Just be aware of it, what your body is conveying right at this moment of transition that we stopped you. Okay? Breathe into it. And first of all, as you breathe, make a sound that goes with the body posture you're in right now. That's good. All right. Now, I want you to put some words to this body posture. A word or a phrase that communicates right now what your body is saying. Hurry up, or I'm scared, or whatever it is. And just say that softly. Say it out loud. Okay, now turn and say that message to me, the message that your body is giving. Say it out loud to me. Now, relax the posture, but take a mental photograph of your position and the message of your body, and go to handout 2, the body as a means of communication, and you will complete freeze frame body message. A, the posture my body was in the moment of freeze was. B, the message my body was giving me was. C, the ways my body was conveying this message was. List all the ways your body was portraying your message. D, the circumstances in my life in which this posture and or messages are typical are. So what times or places would this posture and or message happen to you in your daily life? E, what about my posture was incongruent with my message? So list any way your body was not conveying the message you wrote. And F, what is useful to me about this exercise? So an awareness you had about yourself, applications that may come from this exercise, etc. Turn off the video and complete handout 2 now, and come back to the video. You know our body is communicating all the time. It's giving messages not only to the world, but to ourself about our comfort, our safety, our sense of abundance, our sense of harmony. Let's examine some of the postures that we have adopted and see if we can give ourselves a little more flexibility in our choices. And if you can't in your current environment, well, then maybe you need to change environments, or at least get a little more elbow room so that you're being nurtured more regularly. The first exercise in this section was a little slice of life. We stopped at a point of transition. We could have stopped 5 seconds later, and your body would be in a different posture, giving a different message. Even though it was a transitory message and posture that you had, you may have found some typical things that relate to your way of being in the world. Typically adopted body postures. Now let's look at some of the body messages that get incorporated that aren't transitory, They tend to be relatively permanent messages that we're giving to ourselves and our world. And let's start from the ground up. Again, I'm going to play a clip from the Creative Life Series 2, Body Mastery class, so that you'll have a visual of the body parts to which I'm referring.
The next section that we're going to look at in terms of the energy flow in the body is that the energy field extends beyond the skin. A person's energy field extends outward. This has been documented in current research, and it's something that we all know intuitively, being closer or farther away from individuals. We're going to have an opportunity now to experiment with being at different distances and noticing our own experience of that, charting our own energy fields, as it were, as well as that of the partner with whom we work. We're using our body as a sensitive instrument in this. It's done non-verbally, it's done silently, and so with each step that we're taking, we're monitoring our own energy. We're not worried about the partner. Each partner is taking care of themselves. We're, of course, respectful of our partner's energy. We're not doing anything intrusive to them. This is done by agreement with the partner, one of whom stands still and remains in that position of breathing and sensitive. The other is the person that moves in and out of various sectors of their partner's energy field and their own. When one partner is complete with this, after about 10 minutes, then we'll switch and the other partner will stand still and the opposite one will move. Many different experiments can be done in this. We're only going to demonstrate a few and use your creativity as you do this exercise with your partner. First of all, I know some things already about my energy field in having done this exercise before. There seems for me to be about a 3-foot radius, which is a line of demarcation. And when I step closer to a partner, it's as though I'm stepping into a circle of energy that's quite distinct from when I step out of it. But we're not going just with what we know already. We're going to experiment in moving various distances, various heights around the body, back, sensing with the back of our body, and perhaps eyes open and closed. The number of experiments you do is limited only by your imagination. We will demonstrate just a few right now. Okay, now I've tended to move a little faster than I might ordinarily if I were doing this exercise for the first time. My attempt was simply to show you various postures that you might experiment with, continuing to breathe. When you do this for about 10 minutes, you could be laying on the floor. A short person, for example, might stand on a chair to see what it's like to look down, and a person who is taller can actually look up from laying position. So let your intuition guide you. After the time is up, do not share, but wait until both parties have had a period of experimentation before you then share with one another on what you observed, what you felt.
We're looking at how we face the world, and the messages we're not just putting out to the world, but I think even more importantly, the messages we're giving to ourselves. And what was originally perhaps a very adaptive message for an environment that was dangerous, for example, or unfriendly, now become down on our resourcefulness. So this is not about getting critical of our body postures. Let's become friends with it. Let's examine and release some of the holding patterns so that we can choose the situation that we want to be guarded in rather than have it happening all the time, because that's overkill and depletes us. Okay, let's look at a body part now that's giving a signal and a message to you. It may give you a message by being uncomfortable, or it may give you a message by being totally blanked out, or there are various kinds of sensations that may not be totally uncomfortable, but are like a red flag that's waving to you. So let's tune in on a body part right now that seems to stand out and give you a message. You choose whatever body part that is. I'm going to ask you to take handout 3, body messages, and in section 1, you will complete what and then you say your body part, is telling me, and then you just write whatever comes for the first 15 responses. The messages do not have to make sense to your brain right now. Just write whatever comes out. For example, what my left shoulder is telling me, or what my intestines are telling me. Don't make it too general like what my body is telling me. Make it specific to a certain part of the body, certain area of the body. Keep writing until you get 15 or more responses. Make sure you get some of its feelings, not just thoughts. When you've completed section 1, look at what you've written and put a little check mark by what message came out that surprised you the most. Next, put a little heart sign by the message that was most nurturing to you. Then, in section 2, complete something that was useful to me in listening to my body part was. Turn off the video and complete handout 3, sections 1 and 2, and come back to the video. Okay, so I recommend that you continue to play with this at various times in your life during the day. The more you practice it, the more you tune in, the more powerful the messages will be for you. Awareness leads to freedom, and that leads to mastery. And rather than just popping an aspirin or gritting your teeth and pulling through it, the consultation with your body can give you more power than you ever imagined or thought you had. It can be scary to have that direct pipeline. You say, oh no, my body is saying something about my attitude, but I've got to go to the doctor. They know what my body is saying. Or I've got to ask my mommy. She knows best. Or whoever the mommy substitute is for the day. And each of those practices is turning my body over to some outside authority. Now, that's not to say you should never see a doctor or ask for others' opinions, but even if you do go to the doctor, you're still going to be the court of last resort. Do I really want to have an operation tomorrow? Is that really necessary? So you're taking the outside input, but you're not selling your body short. Yes, sometimes the messages are confusing. Sometimes there seems to be two different messages that seem contrary at the same time. Work harder. Relax. Well, if I stay with it, what may come out of that is I'm confused. And I do have both dictates going on at the same time. And guess where they're happening? Right there in my body part. Whatever it is. Right there, I'm giving two messages at the same time. And no wonder it's tired or stressed out or doesn't know what to do. It's not my back's problem. It's my mind's problem. I'm trying to make my body serve two masters at once. If I can have an inner dialogue and come to a working consensus, then I will give more congruous messages to my body, and my body will respond with pleasure. Okay, a couple of other overall body messages here. We've been looking at specific body parts. There can be more general displacements. Upward displacement, where people walk around with their energy in the upper body, tends to go with a sense of inflated ego importance. You know, I'm all up here, in control, in charge. And the upper body can even be disproportionately large to the lower body. Or the lower body having displaced energy. All my energy is down, flat. It's like I can't get my energy up. I'm depressed. I'm dragging all the time, and my body reflects that. There could be asymmetries, the right side being associated with right-handedness, aggressive, yang, male energy. That can be overdeveloped. Or the left side, the inside, the receptive, the yielding, the feminine yin energy. I noticed in myself for many years when I tended to have pain or discomfort, it was on the right side, reflecting a tendency on my part to push myself, and so display overbalance in the yang energy. In terms of our balance, this example always stands out for me. If I had a 3-foot-tall lead egg in front of me right now, and it were perfectly balanced, I could hold it up with one finger. However, if you can imagine the weight of that huge 3-foot-tall lead egg, if I started to lean it to one side, it'd take all my energy to hold it up. Well, when my body is balanced and has perfect symmetry, it takes very little energy to hold it up. However, if I'm leaning this way in my hips and leaning that way in my rib cage, and leaning this way with my neck, and shoulders leaning that way, and leaning this way with my head. They're all going in different directions. Imagine all the energy it takes just to be here. I'm exhausted just sitting or standing. So the value of body work is apparent. But it's not just someone moving my body in the right position. I've got to be able to move my mind and my feelings in alignment too. And when I maintain my body alignment, it's not just a mechanical change. It's an attitudinal change. My body can help me discover where I'm holding in my attitudes. It can tell me about my balance and my struggles in life, as well as my sense of grounding, my connection with the earth, my ability to take a stand. Overall characterological message. The final aspect of a body as a means of communication that we're going to play with is a snapshot overview of your body's message to the world as though it were a character on stage. This will be a role that's quite familiar to you. It's a message that your body gives to the world often. You may not be aware that your body is giving it, but we're often unaware of a role that we are portraying that's quite obvious to others. Now, the hypothesis here is that awareness can lead to freedom and to more pleasure. If I'm aware of what I'm doing, I can play with it. I'm not stuck in it. We all have roles in life, father, daughter, employee, but they don't have to become a trap for us. We can get very serious about our attitudes in life. Oh yes, that's me, the eternal caretaker. Yes, there are a number of roles we play in various life situations. But for the purpose of this exercise, Choose one that's been relatively enduring in your life. That is, for example, the responsible eldest, the baby in the family, the black sheep, the rebel, the hero, the victim, the loner or lost soul, the nerd or everyone's friend, the peacemaker, the jokester. It may not be that you like this role, yet you seem to end up in it often. So you'll take handout 4, role playing, and complete section 1. A typical role I play is. Section 2, something positive I get from this role is. Section 3, a disadvantage for me in this role is. Section 4, how I could be more conscious about choosing, modifying, or not playing this role is. Stop the video and complete handout 4 and come back to the video. Our body is a mirror which reflects how we conduct our energy, communicate our truth, and express our love. Thanks for bringing your bodies here to co-create our next level of evolution with me. Holding you in my heart as fellow travelers on the road home, I send and receive blessings for our circle and all sentient beings till next class. Blessings in light and love.